Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Mundane Matt, and this year has been a lot of ups and a lot of downs for a number of different things. But I'm not gonna lie, one of the things that I've loved since January 20th, 2017, has been Shia LaBeouf trying to do protests. Man, they've been great. First, you had "He Will Not Divide Us" in New York, 24-hour live stream, brought us some hysterical lulz. YouTuber and streamer Brittany Venti walking around with a sign saying "He will nut inside us," as well as autistic screeching. Just fantastic. Some of the funniest shit I've ever fucking seen. And then it turned into the greatest game of capture the flag ever. It did. It was so wonderful. If I were Shia LaBeouf, I would have kept that shit going because it was a godsend. It was a time to unite people over a cause, to find Shia LaBeouf's flag. And if I were Shia, I would turn that shit into a motherfucking movie. I would find a way to shoot it like a pseudo documentary. I would turn it into some crazy shit. I would make that my next feature film, and I would make lots of fucking money off that shit because it would be fucking amazing. And then, of course, the greatest game ended in Liverpool, UK. And then he came back with arguably the greatest game of hide and go seek ever. He was going to be in a cabin, remote cabin, away from the world, but still connected at the same time. But the internet, as always, found ways to fuck with him, and now it's over. So what we got here is Shia LaBeouf fires back at trolls who target his Lapland-based art project. This is a mock-up of the cabin that he and his two partners will be staying in for this particular protest or art installation, whatever the fuck you want to call it. It says here, Shia LaBeouf has decamped to Finland's Lapland for his latest performance project, #AloneTogether, but hasn't quite managed to evade the wrath of internet trolls who seem set on tracking down the U.S. actor. Like I said, greatest game. Greatest fucking game of hide and go seek. The controversial actor launched his latest live stream installation on Wednesday, which sees him cut off from the world in a wood cabin in an undisclosed area of Lapland. And here it is, Thursday, by the way. Thursday, 24 hours. Keep that in mind. So here we've got a tweet from Shia. This is a mock-up of the cabin he's going to be staying in, announcing that it was live at 12 a.m. yesterday morning. LaBeouf is spending a month alone in a cabin where his only communication with the outside world will be through text messages and a live stream video link with visitors to the Kiasma Museum in Helsinki. Members of the public are able to enter a version of the cabin in the museum and send messages to LaBeouf. A public stream is displayed outside the museum cabin where anyone can read the conversations. So if you just jump back up here, you can kind of see like this is what it looks like. And inside there's the displays and everything else. But that's it. People can walk in here to talk to Shia LaBeouf. If I could walk in there, I would just be like, so, Megan Fox, toe thumbs, real or fake? Your answer, please. Everything else. It says here that you had his two partners are also collaborating with him on the art project, confining themselves to other separate cabins. The three will not be able to communicate with each other. The performance has been described in Dazed magazine as an antidote to being constantly connected. Where they are connected to the outside world, just not to one another and everything else. But the funny thing about that, too, is no one gives a fuck about these two people. Ronco, and Luke Turner. I don't know how to pronounce her name, but whatever. No one cares about them at all. This is all about Shia. It should have been Shia's show. All right, they should have just labeled this Shia and the Shire, and we had to track him down. And it would only be work if he was in Hobbiton in New Zealand, which that should be where he goes next. It's Shia in the Shire. We have to fucking find him. Lord of the Rings style. Go to Mordor. Find Shia LaBeouf. The project is hot on the heels of his "He Will Not Divide Us" stream, an anti-Donald Trump protest. It covers that real quick. Similar to "He Will Not Divide Us," stream LaBeouf's latest adventure is also being targeted, with trolls setting themselves with the ultimate task of tracking down the cabin's location. Finland's version of 4chan, I don't know how to pronounce that, I'm not even going to try, is being used by local members for the task. And so apparently they found him. So if you take a look over here at this Twitter account, you see a post from this particular 4chan saying there are 3,000 rental cabins in Lapland. We just need to match the wood patterns. Easy enough. And you can see they each have the wood patterns back here, but Shia's is the one you're going to have to look at. And that just looks creepy, right? It looks like a panel of people judging you from a distance. Like you have to stand in front of them and get naked, and they're going to be like, turn around, bend over. Yeah. And then they give you some kind of summary judgment and send you on your fucking way. So here's kind of a mock-up of what happened. This is the image being shared around. So they were able to basically track it to this particular region right here, these cabins over here, and they found photos of what could possibly be the same wood paneling and everything else, and they basically found the particulars of the cabin they believe Shia LaBeouf is in, complete with the GPS coordinates. And because it's a rented cabin, they were able to look online and determine that this particular cabin was rented out for the entirety of the art project. So this one right here is basically Shia's cabin, and they are super fucking proud of that. They basically got him in a day. But that's not all that happened. So they got him, they found him, right? But then people from Finland started going and fucking with Shia LaBeouf. All right, just fucking with him, because they brought in a periscope there. It's like a 43-minute periscope. I watched a fair amount of it. It's just them kind of fucking with him. More on that here in a second. This is my favorite one right here. Uncle Chang, NYC. This dude is a hero. Brought in a Make America Great Again hat, put it on Shia's head, snapped a photo. That's gonna live on in infamy. That's actually the thumbnail of this particular video because it's so fucking wonderful, right? Then you got people coming into the live stream itself, because the live stream on the website is actually of the cabin. It's not of this. You can't see inside there. So you got to be in the cabin to see Shia and the other two chuckle fucks. But outside here is where you look in and you see everything. So you got that, right? And so social media users were also taunting LaBeouf by wearing the MAGA hats and accusing actor of having internet access in his cabin. Now, the internet access in the cabin is interesting here, because if you look at this, all these posts and everything right here, you can see that he's talking about some stuff there. And what it basically is a ripoff of, like, here's right here, R9K's "Why Won't Women Fuck Me" BS. Anything goes, and anyone who gets mad is just a normie. Versus endless Ouroboros of anger at everything. So this right here is a tweet from a furry, and Shia LaBeouf has got access to that in the cabin right then and right there. So basically, alone together, it kind of showcases that he's at least got some access to something, or someone is feeding him information somehow. But that is what they basically are saying. And even the writer of the tweets here is saying that there's the original thread written by me months ago, not a serial plagiarist like Shia LaBeouf, because that's come out before about him. Shia steals my tweets about fascism within nerd spaces. Sure is a hell of a thing to happen in 2017, and everything else. So this Colin Space Twinks wrote those original tweets months ago, and somehow Shia has them. Now, again, they're accusing him of having the information, or having access to Twitter, or having access to the internet during this particular situation. But if he wrote these things months ago, it's entirely possible that Shia just maybe had it remembered or had it printed out. I'm pretty sure they're going to have lots of documentation, lots of books, lots of things like that to pull from. And so there might be a binder of information or something, maybe on an iPad or whatever, that had this stuff saved or whatever. But it's very suspicious, to say the very least. So jump back over here again. You got this right here. LaBeouf called out his detractors, saying that their fascist political ideologies originate from sexual frustration as a result of not being able to get any women. Truth be told, many people on the internet basically kind of assign that belief to people who use 4chan. It's not entirely true. There are people out there that do never get women, but that doesn't have any effect on their ability to troll. It just means they have more time to do it, and they're probably better at it because they're not always out seeking the sweet poontang. But the great thing here is, so you can see these tweets right here, some of the stuff that he's saying. He says, "I feel bad for you guys. Deeply isolated, and then you go home alone to type on the internet to other isolated nerds who get no action. I do not think that is true. There are women here. Do you guys know how to talk to women? Your isolated nerd resentment makes that hard. A bunch of fucking nerds who have resentment at women use irony and bigotry to make friends. Isolated nerd resentment." Now, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. There are a lot of fucking nerds out there that absolutely, positively hate women. There are. Maybe not a lot, but there are some. There are definitely some out there that do. And you can read about them on like pickup artist forums, as well as the nice guy forums, and also MGTOW. MGTOW, a lot of those dudes are not fans of chicks at all. But to say that all nerds are doing that, or that people that are trolling him are doing that, is just Shia projecting. He doesn't know where all this animosity towards him is coming from, I think. I don't think he fully understands everything that people are talking about with him right now, and I don't think he gets why people are having so much fun fucking with him. And it's because he doesn't realize how much he has brought people together. That's the whole issue. That was what was so great about He Will Not Divide Us. He Will Not Divide Us is true. It didn't divide anybody. It brought people together to play the greatest game of Capture the Flag ever. And here he was going to play the greatest game of hide and go seek ever, and it took people less than 24 hours to find him, which leads me to believe that either Shia doesn't believe in what he's doing wholeheartedly, or that he just wants to get caught so he can eventually end these things and go back to doing whatever the fuck it is he's going to do. But if I were Shia, I would keep it going. I would change locations, make it harder to find, and definitely go from there. Because they basically announced just about where this particular event would happen. 30 days, right? 30 days and everything. And they're like, oh, 30 days. And, you know, there's 3,000 cabins here. All right. So if people went up there and tried to troll it in the northern part of Finland, they could check out the cabins and see who's there, who's not there, and basically pinpoint it to the best of their ability. And they didn't, because they didn't have to. They used the internet to find him. And it's just funny because the entire point of this particular art piece was to prove that people are connected through the internet, and that might make them more isolated than not. But it's interesting nonetheless. But here's the saddest part about it. This is the website, and it's already gone. It's already down. Alone Together is already over, and that kind of sucks. That kind of sucks, you know, because it'd be nice to see this thing go on a little bit longer. But Shia gets he gets worked up a little bit too easily. He gets into it a little bit too much, and then when the internet starts fucking with him, he can't figure it out, which is probably why he wanted 30 days of isolation. And he wanted to talk with people that wanted to come see him. That's essentially what he was doing. But he knew the internet was going to come find him, and he still basically made it easy enough for them to get him in a fucking day. And that, my friends, is why Alone Together failed. Hopefully, he'll do Alone Apart and actually make it difficult and challenging, because if he's trying to play a game of fucking survival mode on hide and go seek, he really, really, really fucking sucks at it. Hey everyone, thanks for checking out the video. If you guys want to support the channel, social media is the best way to do so. Share it around, talk about it, get in on the conversation. Support me through Patreon. Check out MundaneChats. Check out 3 Buck Theater. Subscribe, like, comment, engage with Mundane Matt here on the YouTubes. Thanks, guys.